Welcome to Design and Thrive podcast. We have another episode with an amazing guest. His name is Bryan Wiens from Crossroads Counseling out in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Hello, Brian.
Hello. Thanks for taking the time today.
Awesome. You're welcome. How are you today?
Life is great.
Let's begin. So, can you share a personal story or a moment that inspired you to pursue a career in mental health?
Certainly. I and my wife, Amy, we work with Crossroads Counseling and Psychological Services, and we started the practice in 2017. It was my wife was a sole practitioner at the time, so started with humble means, with one small office in a local business center. And we started that as she's a psychologist, wanted to make a difference in mental health in our community, and that was kind of the beginnings of the story. And over the last several years, we've grown the practice very organically, kind of one practitioner at a time. And most recently, have made significant changes to the business to grow it and maximize our impact in the community.
Very good. Now, you and your wife are a team. And how many team members do you currently have right now?
Yeah, we have 13 practitioners, including my wife, in the practice, and we have an admin assistant and myself working on kind of the operational sides of the business.
And is business booming?
Business is great. It's really good. It's been very interesting in the mental health space. During COVID, of course, interest and demand went up. A lot of people were facing a lot of challenging situations through COVID. So we saw a real significant increase in the demand, in the need, in the acceptance of mental health as a whole. And as I mentioned, my wife was working in the practice at the time with a couple of associates. And through that time and with the additional demand, waiting lists got to the point where it was disheartening to see people have to wait that long to get quality care. That was part of the genesis, part of the motivation why we decided we needed to expand, why we needed to grow the operations, add more practitioners, do the work to bring on more people to be able to help more people.
Awesome. So, what does a typical day look like for you at Crossroads?
Well, at Crossroads, we have most of our clients come in and see our practitioners in person. That's the vast majority of them. So we have our admin assistant, Anna, who greets them at the front desk and makes sure that they have some high quality coffee and other drink options as they come in. We want everyone to feel really comfortable, really good to going to therapy. Talking through the challenging subjects and topics that people need to work through. Uh, that's challenging enough. So we like to make sure that it's a really good experience for people as they enter the building, as they drive up. We've chosen a location that's nice and handy, nice and close to a lot of different highways and common areas, housing areas, that sort of a thing. But we have our own parking lot so that people don't have to worry about paying for parking. They have a good experience that way. And when we bought the building, it was not at all a building that was designed for mental health, but the whole experience was really important to us. So we renovated the building, and it had been a schoolhouse, a small little school, pre-primary schoolhouse. We renovated it, and as we were doing that, we turned it into 9 offices. But we made sure as we were doing it that the sound acoustics were top of the line. So we invested significantly with our contractors to make sure that it was soundproofed with sonopan wrap and extra thick drywall strips on the bottom of base of all the doors, corkboard doors. Because if you're working on mental health, if you're having difficult conversations, the last thing you want is to wonder about who's walking by, who's sitting outside, who might overhear parts of this conversation. So it was really important for us. And so we put in a white noise machine that just covers the entire office. So you go into the office and it's a little bit like an oasis. Everyone is made to feel really comfortable, and they can be assured that the office is designed specifically to make for a great mental health experience. That's really important for us as look to make sure that the care we're providing is the best it can be.
Awesome. So, how would you describe Crossroads' core mission to someone unfamiliar with your work?
Great question. A very straightforward answer. We're here to help people. When you talk about therapy, you talk about counseling. The counselor, the clinician, they're not there to solve anybody's problems. They're not there to give people answers. What their role is really to help people, provide people the tools, help people understand themselves, their motivation, and help them get onto the path of recovery or self-improvement or addressing the issues that are holding them back from the life that they're looking to lead.
Yeah, bringing more clarity to someone's life is very important, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And whether that's relationship counseling, whether that's grief counseling, whether that's child therapy, every person who walks through the door is a unique individual and facing different challenges. And so we make sure that everyone, all of our clinicians are well qualified and great listeners, great at asking questions that help people explore themselves and explore the issues so that they can really work through and work to the root issues that are challenging them.
And with 13 team members, do you plan on expanding to different offices?
Right now, our focus is making sure that we're doing a really good job with the office that we have. It was only about a year ago that we launched out. It was the start of May of last year that we launched into our new building. And so right now, we continue to grow at a really good pace, but not an uncontrolled pace. And so for right now, the key thing is to make sure that our people have the people that we have are really high quality, and so we make sure to bring on the best people for our uh, to be our clinicians, to be our associates. And then as we continue to grow, there's lots of opportunities. There's lots of ways that we can continue to help the community, and whether that's growing different offices or more likely looking for ways for our clinicians to do, say, community sessions in addition to kind of one-to-one type sessions, to do workshops or seminars where people who may not be in a position or might not be comfortable doing one-on-one type of therapy, potentially they can be part of a workshop or a seminar where they can learn to help equip themselves and take some of the first steps towards addressing the issue that they're facing.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
You got it.
Awesome. So what sets Crossroads apart from other counseling services in Halifax?
Well, first, I never like to set ourselves up against any other mental health practice. This isn't a competition. This is we're all working together to help people, and to the degree that we can do that well, then we're accomplishing our mission. But one of the things that's really important to us is we have on staff both psychologists, but also registered counseling therapists. And so, in some cases, you would have some offices you would have all therapists, and what we like to have is a good variety, a good diversity of backgrounds and perspectives, and also education and experience, so that when one of our clinicians is working with their client with inside of all confidentiality, but working with their client, if they run into an issue that is different from one that they've experienced before or that they've seen in their education background, they have a depth of a team, like you say, dream work, teamwork making the dream work. They have a depth of a team to fall back on and have support from. So knowing that gives all of our people a lot of confidence that no matter what issues that they're working through with the clients, there's someone else on the team who they can talk to, they can work it through and make sure that they have that support, and they're going to be able to do a great job in providing that level of counseling and care.
Okay, and on that point, your team comprises various professionals. How do their diverse backgrounds enhance the services provided?
Each person comes at it with some different training. So we would have one of our counseling therapists who has a background in Gottman theory, which is very specific for couples counseling. We have others who have done more work on trauma related issues, more advanced studies on that side of a thing. So what that enables is as people come to us and are looking to find the right counselor, the right clinician, we have different specialties and different areas of focus that we can direct them to. So we can make sure people don't have to figure out themselves who's the best person for them to talk to. If they come to us, we're happy to understand what issues they're facing, and then make sure that they connect with the right person.
Perfect. So, what feedback have you received from clients about their experience at Crossroads?
The feedback has been tremendously positive. And a good, I guess, example of that would be we have a high rate of people who come back for counseling as long as they need it. But also, we have a high rate of personal referrals. So if you're working with someone in our practice and you know somebody else who is facing a similar type of a situation, referring them to us would be the highest compliment. It's the highest indication of a successful counseling relationship. If they're willing to trust themselves to us, their family to us, but also then recommend us to friends and people that they know who need that level of care. That's an evidence of success, I would say.
I think all my friends need help.
Well, what's interesting, and I mentioned it through COVID, but the stigma, I guess you would say, around mental health has really subsided to a great degree. Now, at our practice, we don't have big signs on the building. We don't have like a neon sign that says mental health here or anything like that. We just have a sign that says the street address of the building. And so there's lots of people who I talk to in the area, and they're like, what if I'm outside doing some maintenance on the building or something? They're like, what is this place? We like that because it doesn't draw attention to anybody who might be coming or going. People can have their anonymity. They can go into the building with comfort and confidence that nobody's there watching or judging. But at the same time, it's really nice to see that that potential stigma within the community has largely gone away. People realize that much like going to for a checkup at a doctor, getting mental health help, getting that support is really important for specific issues and also for maintenance, for good practices, for ensuring that you know peak performance, making sure that people are managing their own mental health well.
What common challenges you face in providing mental health services today?
One of the transitions that happened during COVID, we had a lot of people who were looking to do video conferencing. Now it's transitioned very much back into in person. So we have a lot less demand, a lot less interest in video sessions. We still certainly do provide them, but people do want to come in person, and so then it just becomes a matter of scheduling times to make sure that people are able to find good times that match their schedule and also work with the clinician. And we do have some of our counselors and therapists who work evenings, and one of them works on some Saturdays to make sure that we have some hours, some flexibility in hours. And part of the reason why we brought on the clinicians that we did was to make sure that we're able to tell people it's not a big long waiting list. We do have people who are readily available, schedulable, in the not too distant future, so we're able to get people in quickly so they don't have to wait months or.
So, what advice would you give to someone hesitant about seeking therapy?
I would encourage them to, of course, give it a try. I would encourage them to do research on levels of qualification of the potential people who they might go see. Levels of education matter, qualifications, and even specialties matter. So finding somebody who the way that they present themselves, the level of education, the evidence of the extra training that they might have taken on, show a passion and a skill set that aligns with the challenges that you might be facing. That's a good place to start. And getting into the conversation, initiating a conversation, initiating sessions with a therapist. At a practice that has multiple therapists, if you get into a scenario where it just doesn't seem to be a good fit or a good click, as some people say, sometimes there are opportunities to switch, to say, okay, well, this one wasn't a great fit, but this one may well be a better connection, a better fit. The person may be just on the same wavelength. So those are some things that I would encourage people to consider. Any baggage, any thoughts that people might have that they don't need counseling, or maybe that's for everybody else. I would encourage them to do the research and see that all walks of life, all ages, all races, all types of people, income levels, what have you, are realizing that the value that comes from seeing a mental health professional and getting that level of mental health care and how that can impact all areas of their life.
Perfect. So lastly, how can listeners get in touch or learn more about Crossroads services?
Great question. Best way, of course, is to go right to the website, which is crossroadscpc.ca. On the website, there's clear information about the practice, the individual clinicians, but most importantly, there's a contact us page, and there somebody can give us a call or they can send us an email, do a web form, and then we're quick to get back and make sure to initiate a good conversation, make people feel comfortable, and make sure that they get connected with a great therapist or counselor.
Well, that brings it close to the show. That was Designed to Thrive. Thank you, Bryan, for coming on.
Thanks so much. Appreciate your time.